Hi, Stampers. I'm sneaking in because I am late, like 20 minutes late. Happy Friday. I have had a week and I will just leave it at that. So I'm feeling sort of lucky to even be able to come on here today. Okay, so I have put this card together at the last minute, but I think it turned out kind of cute. So let me get started. What I have started with here is a card base, and I'm using Stampin' Up's thick white just to make the card base a little bit heavier, because the regular white is, I don't think it's quite as heavy as like the colored cardstock. So yeah, I'm using that as my card base. And so what I'm going to do to begin with, what did I do with it? I'm really discombobulated here. Okay. Oh, let me get this up on my on my channel on my iPad here. So, okay, I don't want to hear myself. There we go. So welcome to my channel, and feel free to say hello and join in the chat. I always like it when people talk and I can answer back. Okay, so I'm going to use this cute Darice embossing folder. It's got like daisy looking flowers on it and some little hearts and swishes around there. It's just very spring looking, I think. So I'm going to put it over the front of my card. And let me just get it positioned in here. Okay. The bumps don't want to allow the cardstock to slide around very easily. Why is it so difficult? All right. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go with that, I think. And I'm just going to run this through my machine and I'll be right back. Hi, Marianne from Salem. You know, I'm over here on the coast in Oregon in Newport, or maybe you didn't know that, but that's where I'm at. Oops, I've got to take something off my machine to be able to get this to go through. So I best do that first so I don't go breaking my machine. That would not be good. All right. Okay, let's see how this turned out. I love this embossing folder. So pretty cute. Now, if you wanted to, you could go over the top of this lightly with chalks. If, you know, I don't want to do it on the card I'm making today, but that would make a really fun background. Or, you know, with a sponge, and you can just lightly go over it to color up your flowers and stuff. But that's a super cute embossing folder, and I've probably had it for a really long time. Maybe you could go in, I don't know, but that Darice is the company that makes this one. Really cute. Okay, so there's that part. I have cut myself a oval here, stitched oval, and I used this Lawn Cuts oval, large stitched oval stackables, and I used the second largest one. And also I have cut myself a little piece of grass to go down in the bottom of this. And after I cut the grass, which I used this folder, or not folder, this die. I'm looking for the actual die that I used. Okay, I don't know what I've done with it, but there's 2 grass ones in here, and so I used the other grass one, and I've laid it somewhere here, and I don't know where I laid it, so I apologize for that. But anyway, it was from this Meadow Borders die set. So I cut the grass, and then I ran it through my machine again using that oval so that I can create the grass down here at the bottom of this oval shape. So I just wanted to share with you the things that I used for that. And I can set that aside. And then on my thing here, I have got this cute little bunny. The bunny is from the Fun Stampers Journey Spring Fling set, and these bunnies are so cute. So I'm using this little guy here, and then there's this one. There's some eggs in here, spring, Hoppy and Spring, Fling, and Egg Hunt. And these are Cling red rubber stamps. So I'm not sure if this is available over on the Spellbinders website. You could check it out. Again, the name of it is Spring Fling. And if you can't find it there, then I would look on eBay if it's something that you want. All right, and I've got a piece of Spectrum Noir paper here that is like Copic friendly or alcohol marker friendly. I'll be using my Stampin' Up! Blends today. But I really like that paper for using alcohol markers. It just colors up nice and doesn't tend to bleed like a lot of papers will. So, Marianne, what's the weather like over in Salem today? It's kind of sunny here, but still chilly. All right, I've got just whiteboard eraser that I use for my little pressure tool here on my Stamparatus. And I'm satisfied with the first inking here, so we're just going to go with that. So you're a lucky girl living over there in Salem because you've got Craft Warehouse. I got to go there last weekend. I love that store. We used to actually have a Craft Warehouse here. I spent so many of my breaks from work. It was my escape on my breaks to go to Craft Warehouse. And my checkbook showed that at the time. Do people write checks anymore? I rarely do, but back then I did. And let's see, I think I'm going to start with my lightest color. I'm going to use a little bit of light Flirty Flamingo here. But it was just such a bummer when they left here, and it left us here in Newport with nothing for craftiness. I mean, Walmart, when they did their remodel here and expanded, they actually made their craft department smaller and the clothing department smaller to allow for groceries and stuff, which wasn't necessary. But anyway, so yeah, I will make a run up to Lincoln City sometimes to Joann's, but you know, that Joann's isn't very, it doesn't have much. So we are just without over here on the coast. And so I'm always excited when I get to come to Salem and go to Craft Warehouse or some of the other stamping and crafting places that you guys have there. So I'm just doing a little bit of shading here. I am for sure no professional colorist, but I'm using the dark Flirty Flamingo here. Yeah, before it was Craft Warehouse, it was Ben Franklin, and it was upstairs and downstairs. And they had some craft stuff, but not like when it was Craft Warehouse. It's just a shame that they left. And then I even contacted Michael's at one point, begging them to come here. But that didn't get me anywhere. But I tried. At least I tried. Okay, so I'm going to take the little bullet tip here on the light Flirty Flamingo and just give this bunny some little pink cheeks. I'm just going over the polka dots that are already there. All right, so now I'm going to take a light smoky slate and just do a little bit of coloring with it. Not much, because I like a white bunny, so my bunny's actually just going to be white, but I'm just going to do a little bit of gray shading around. And I can feel myself being shaky for some reason this afternoon, so hopefully I won't mess it up too bad. It all turns out in the end, usually. I don't know why. Well, it's just probably from the week I've had, why I'm feeling shaky. Oh, and then you can hear my phone there. Now my phone has been ringing off of the hook. I should count how many calls a day that I get. And it's because I am coming up on that age in my life where it's right before time for me to sign up for Medicare. I can't even believe I'm saying that. How did that happen? Anyway, so all of these calls have been coming in, and I have quit answering my phone. I have caller ID, so I look at it. If it's not a number that I recognize, I don't even bother, because they're all the same. And they spoof people's numbers so that it looks like, you know, the call's coming from maybe somewhere that might be familiar to me, which has got to totally be against the law, right? And I don't know why they can't do something about that, but it must be way too hard for them to track this stuff down and figure it out. But I had one, my husband and I both, well, I was born and grew up in Klamath Falls, Oregon. So one of the calls the other day came up and said Klamath Falls, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I better answer that, because we still have family and friends there and stuff. Maybe I better answer that and just check it out. And no, it was a Medicare call, which I figured it might be anyway, but I still, you know, kind of felt obligated to go ahead and answer that one. I'm using my Color Lifter blender now to blend out this gray. And so anyway, after I answered it and the guy started in, well, actually he asked to speak to me by name or whatever, and said, you know, where he was calling from or what he was calling for, Medicare. And I said, where are you calling from? Click. And I've started doing that a lot, because if I do answer the phone because it looks like a number from somewhere that, you know, maybe I better pick it up. And that's what I'll do every time, is ask them, you know, where are you calling from? And that's usually the response I get. They immediately hang up. And I think one time, actually, somebody kept talking or something, or maybe after I answered it because they had used a residential number for somebody, I think, that came up actually with someone's name on the caller ID. And then when I answered it, totally wasn't. It was, you know, one of those calls. And I said, why are you spoofing people's numbers? Click. It's just frustrating. Sometimes I just feel like taking that house phone out. Isn't that too bad that it, you know, it comes to that, that they have to do that kind of stuff? I don't know. Oh, my little bunny, he's so cute. So yeah, I'm really tired of all those phone calls. All right, I'm going to use the bullet tip here to do the feet because it's a little bit harder with the brush to get around the little pink foot pads. So it's easier to use the bullet tip. Okay, my phone was ringing, my cell phone was ringing that time, so I'm really sorry about that. Okay. I need to grab my other phone because that call I just got, I need to call real quick. So I'm so sorry. I don't want to stop and start my video. I promise I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry, guys. All right, so Bunny is colored, and there are coordinating dies that go with this set, and they're called the Spring Fling dies. So I always like it when there's dies. Okay, so I'm going to cut that little bunny out. And again, these stamps and dies are Fun Stamper's Journey. So you may be able to find them over on Spellbinders because that's who took over their stuff. And that's who made the, I think, the stamps and dies to begin with. Okay, I'm going to run this through my machine. Okay, here we go. And their dies leave a pretty good border around the outside edge, just to let you know. So if you don't like that border, I just want to let you know that, to keep that in mind when you buy the Fun Stampers Journey brand anyway. Stamps and dies. Okay, let me see how we're doing here. So I've got this and this. All right, next up, I am going to use, this cute little egg from the Egg Party set. And hopefully, I've got so many things over here on the side. There's a coordinating die for that as well. Egg Party die set. Set of one. All right. So super cute Easter eggs. There's even a solid one here, so you can stamp that out in color and stamp some of these other designs over the top of your color or just onto solid colored cardstock. But I'm using the little floral one today because I thought it matched well with that embossing folder that I used. And yes, I've got a piece of cardstock here to stamp it on. And I'm just going to stamp it out with Memento Black. There we go. And let me dry that a little bit. I want to go ahead and die cut it because I think it makes it, because it does leave that border, it makes it a little bit easier to cut it out, I think. I mean color it, not cut it out. Makes it a little bit easier to color it. Okay, let me run this. All right, so I am going to color those little flowers up with, I love this color, light Highland Heather. This is one of my favorite colors, I think, from the Stampin' Up! Colors anyway. I was watching a video earlier today on YouTube of a gal doing a cute Easter card, and she was using Copics, and the colors she was using were so pretty. I have some Copics. I don't have a ton of them. I've got quite a few, but I'll have to watch her video again and then look to see if the colors she was using were any of the colors I have. I also have the Spectrum Noir markers. I started out with those. And I like them, but they don't have brush tips. And I really like the brush tips. But there's some interesting colors in those. So between the Copics I have, the blends, and the Spectrum Noir, I've got a lot of colors. And I don't know why you can't just mix and match them, because they're just all alcohol markers. And I'm not going to do any shading on this egg. Okay, there is that. And then I'm going to give them some yellow centers with Light Daffodil Delight. And then I'm going to just finish filling this in with Light Pool Party. At first, when I did this card earlier, I thought I would leave the egg white, but I didn't like the egg being white since the bunny was white, because this bunny is going to sit on top of this egg, because he's obviously sitting on something. You can make him sit on whatever you want to sit him on, but I thought it was fun to pop him up on top of an egg. I love doing bunny stuff in the spring, and it doesn't have to be just only for Easter. I mean, bunnies are cute all year, but they're especially cute in the springtime. And there's so many cute bunny stamps out right now. It's like, stop it. I don't need to be buying any more stamps, but I see so many I want. And I ponder on them and ponder on them, and then it's like, okay, I can do something similar with what I have. But I've been really loving this one gnome set that I've been seeing that is from Spellbinders. And it's got a couple of gnomes, and then they've got bunny ears in there that you can cut out and put on their little gnome hats. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. All right, there's my egg. So Marianne, you got a call at 5:30. Yep, we've been getting those kind of calls too. My husband always jumps up and answers them, and I don't know why he answers them when I think it just scares him, and so he answers it even though it might have an 800 number or something. And when they call at those kind of hours, he gives them a little piece of his mind, which they deserve. All right, so I'm going to glue the grass on, and I'm just going to put a little thin line of it down here at the bottom, because I'm going to be tucking that egg into the grass. Okay, so I just need to line this up so it sits right here at the bottom of this oval. And if you get it just right, the stitch lines should actually line up pretty good. Okay, there is that. Did I hold this up so you could see it close? I think I did, but look at the sweet little hearts that are on here. I just really love this embossing folder. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, because of that being all raised and everything, and use my liquid Tombow glue to attach this onto the front of the card. And I'm going to kind of put it over here to the one side. And then I'm going to take the egg and glue it in. Tuck it down in that grass. So cute. Okay, let me get some dimensionals here. I am going to put glue down at the bottom of the bunny here. And then I am going to put dimensionals around the top. And I'm going to pop him right up on top of this egg. It's like, how did I get up here? So cute. Okay. So now then, I've got a couple of little strips here that I cut, and I used Flirty Flamingo because that was the color of pink that I've used in there. So I decided to go with the Flirty Flamingo. And from the stamp set, what did I do with it? Here it is. I've got the Hoppy and the Spring, and I've got ink all over my hands. Okay, so I've got the Hoppy and the Spring mounted up on my blocks here. And I'm just going to use my black memento again. So there is Hoppy. Spring. And then I'm just going to cut this and flag the ends, or fishtail, or whatever you like to call it. I was watching something the other day, and somebody actually created little triangle dies, tiny little triangle dies to do the fishtails at the end, and I thought, oh my word. I mean, I don't know, it just seems like just cut them with your scissors. There's nothing to it. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing here. I am going to put glue and dimensional. Dimensional down at the flagged end and some glue at the opposite end. And I'm going to tuck this right under the bunny here. Hoppy. You could even do Hoppy twice and do Hoppy Hoppy Spring. And we will, let me see, I'm going to have to lift that dimensional up that I've stuck down so I can tuck this under there. I don't want my points to, I might have to trim that a little bit because because I don't want to cover up my G. And let me just trim these ends a touch if I can. So that it will go in an envelope just right. There we go. Happy spring. Okay, now then, if you watched one of my recent haul videos, I bought this humongous bag of these doodads, these flowers from Hobby Lobby. And there's the information. I didn't pay $4.99. I think they were 40% off. So flower gemstones, they're in the spring shop, up where all the Easter stuff is in Hobby Lobby, if you get to shop in that store. Okay, so because I wanted to put some bling on here, and my first thought wasn't flowers, but then when I got into my box of bling and saw these, it's like, oh yeah, let's use those. Those will be cute. All right. So I dumped them in here just because I figured it was easier to see them all and pick something out. And there's these iridescent ones that are so cute. There's one right there. Can you see? Isn't that pretty? All right, so those are the three I'm gonna, or wait, do I want to use, no, because, no. All right, those are the three I'm gonna use. And to attach those, I'm gonna use some art glitter glue. So I'm just going to put one there. And I know that was a tiny little drop of glue, but it does not take much. And then over here, and I'll put that other one right up here. And let me get the needle put back in this. There we go. And that is my card. I don't know yet what I want to put on the inside, so for right now I'm going to leave it blank. And here's the first one I did. Yeah, I came in my room at, I think, 1 o'clock and thought, okay, I need to make something. So that's why I ran late to start my video, because I didn't even know what I was going to do yet today. Oh, yeah, Saturday morning makes. I've got some fun stuff for that tomorrow, because that was where I was focusing my time, was getting some projects for Saturday morning makes, because I didn't get to join in on it last week. We went to watch our grandson in a basketball free throw contest, and he took second in state for his age group, so that was pretty awesome, and it was fun to watch. So yeah, that's why I didn't, I wasn't in Saturday morning makes last week. So I'm looking really forward to that for tomorrow. So check back and see what I made. And thanks for joining me. Thanks for taking part in the chat, Marianne. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Happy crafting. Take care. Bye-bye.